Hey there, bruisers. Let's take a look at some of the shooting drills we were working on Tuesday. And the reason I wanted to do these is to get you running at game speed, so we could make an analysis of your shooting form in not just where you're just kind of spinning the ball. The thing I'm going to point out here, I'm going to back up in the comments. Alex is moving quick here. Andreas is moving quicker, but watch yourselves. Some of you, does that look like it's a fast break? This is supposed to be fast break movements. Some of you are moving that. That doesn't necessarily look like a fast break. So when we're doing these drills and we're talking about game speed, go as if you are going at game speed. That's how you're going to become better at shooting on the fly here and going, right? Anytime we're working on something game speed, you should goes to any time you're working on any skill or drill. You want to replicate it not as if you're in the lab, but as if you're in the environment. And the environment in this case is a game environment. That's why we're doing all these things, to become better at game-like shooting. We're in a fast break. We come down here, we pull up jump shot, get our footwork right. 1, 2, and goes right up. And look at Alex. I can't really see his hands per se, but he comes in here, 1, 2, and he goes straight up, and he comes almost straight down where he's at, right? Goes up, comes almost exactly where he's at. And we work on Alex a little bit. This shot is your shooting hand's a little flat, but we'll spend some more time looking at that, Alex. But this really good footwork here. It comes pretty fast. Jump stop, goes up, and ball looks like it has good rotation there. Now let's get Andreas. Here comes Andreas here. Now Andreas, one of the things that let's check a close look here. So we want you to come with a better stance, right? When you come into that, your feet are together, and if you're coming at any speed off a side, you're gonna lose your balance there. So let's look here. One of the things we worked on in the past on the weekends is your shooting hand. And what you should be doing here is when you jump stop there, your hand should already be under the ball, right? You see it's on the side, and that tells me this is your old shooting style. It's how you did before. It comes on the side, and it tells me that it's probably what's going to happen is your thumb is going to get into play here from your opposite shooting hand, and that's exactly what I see. Let's go right here. So your thumb right here is going to push the ball, and so is this. Because your hand's on the side, right? That's what happens when that hand gets over on the side. You see that opposite side thumb? It's pushing forward. Your hand, we want your hand to be, your off shooting hand to be straight up and down. Straight up and down there on the side of the ball. And you see that we have a flat push with this hand instead of flicking that wrist down to get a good follow through. And let's see what happens. See how it just stays like at a what we really want you to see here is when you shoot the ball from that angle. Let's find, okay, I can use this one. Shoot the ball from that angle. Your wrist, you should be snapping your wrist down into the good follow through, right? That'll give you a good rotation. But the big thing that's happening here is this thumb and then this thumb. And let's just back it up a little bit, Andreas, because I want you to see where this starts right here. When you come in here and you stop to shoot the ball, this hand should already be behind the ball here, lined up right underneath it. Right, but see it's on the side, and now as you go up with a shot, you're playing around with, you have to kind of try to get the shot where it's going to replicate, and you're trying to rotate around. Your elbow's good right here. I like that. It's just your hand placement, and I can tell when this other elbow flares out really wide, it's because of that thumb and then this thumb. So you're shooting two-handed, and that's hard to replicate that shot over and over. So when we do these drills and we say make as many as you can in 2 minutes, and you guys come back and made like 20 or 30%. These are some of the reasons why. You make the shot. You make the shot there. Okay, great. You're going to make some shots. It's just not replicable, right? So work on those ones. Let's go here. Let's swing around. See what happens. We know. Let's look at, let's see if we can zoom in on Kai's here. Kai. All right. Okay, comes in. Now, Kai, I was kind of referring to you too. When we're doing these drills and we're going game speed, come at game speed here. because you're moving fast a lot of times on fast break. So really work on that. you're moving fast, right? You're not going to get any many shots like this where you can kind of come in, take your time, and set up and shoot it. So come in hard and work on that balance, right? Okay, here you go. Jump stop. And let's see this off shooting hand here. Remember, this is what we're working on. We want that shooting hand. It looks good right there. Right there, it's off to the side. And we want it to stay off to the side. I can't see where your shooting hand is. But see, as you start to come back, you start to cock that hand. Right there is perfect. It should just stay right in that position the whole time. But watch what happens as you start to come back here. This hand starts to rotate back this way because what you're doing is getting that thumb right there ready to push the ball. And that hand shouldn't be involved at all in the shot. It's just a guide hand. And watch what happens. Looks good there. It comes under the ball and you're shooting with two hands. And that elbow goes out and you can see it. You can see all that push from your hand there, really clear. So that's the drill we do where you catch the ball underneath with your shooting hand, you spin it up, you don't use your guide hand at all. You just have to spend a lot of time retraining your shot here, right? You'll make a lot of shots and you'll score a lot more points if you master that process. And I know that we've worked on this very same thing. Here's what happens, guys, for you guys. We're on Will's, his shooting hands on the left-hand side. Here's what happens when you're younger. If you just shoot three-pointers all the time, you're going to end up with this kind of shooting style where you're using two hands because you're not quite strong enough to get it there. And I know that Will, we've worked on the weekend and broken down his shot before, and we talked about the same thing. And I'm going to show you right now that Will's doing the same thing right here. Shooting hands good. And this is just from you guys, one, really have to practice shooting with your dominant hand and not this guide hand. And then you need to shoot when you're working on your shot and developing your shot, do it in a place where you can effectively shoot from. The three-point line, probably not a good place because you're getting that. The hand looks good right there and it should stay right there. But what happens is if the ball goes up, Will, you can see your thumb kind of underneath. And watch, the big trick here, the big key is you can see your hand follow through. That guide hand is pushing the ball. So you're shooting with two hands. That also is not replicable, right? It's hard to replicate that shot over and over. See if you guys make it. You're going to make some shots doing this, no doubt about it. But you can't, it's not going to be consistent. It's not the proper way to shoot. And that's why coaches for years and years have been teaching kids how to shoot, young kids how to shoot with getting that hand under the ball. Okay, here we go. Let's check out Jackson. Jackson, same thing I was telling Kai when we're running these drills. You got to come hard, right? You're never going to be in a situation where you're able to jog down the floor at this speed and shoot a shot. Let's just back up so you can see, right? You should be coming as hard as you can, pushing the ball in front of you. Never going to happen. That's never going to happen that way. Okay, Jackson, here's something that I notice that you do. When you get tired, you use your momentum to lunge forward, right? I would like to see you right here. Try and stay in a circle when you shoot. You go up, so you're using all this momentum to push the ball forward. And it's not always bad. Going forward isn't always bad. It's probably not as exaggerated here. I noticed some other times during practice, you're really flying forward. Now that you're tired, we looked at your shot the other night. We slowed it down, and I could see that you had good form when you weren't tired. And let's look what happens when you're tired here. Okay, here comes this guide hand. Let's look at that guide hand. And it's hard to tell from here. It looks like you're doing, yep. You're using that guide hand to push off too, right? See what's happening? It should just stay straight up and down right there. It should just stay straight up and down. Now you can see that you're starting to move it over. And it is pushing the ball too. And none of you guys, this is a real big issue. Let's look over here at Mr. Dylan. We know that Dylan does something similar. Two hands. That is the most clear two-handed shot you'll ever see. And these are things Dylan Andreas, you guys have spent a lot of time with me on the weekends working on these skills, right? So my expectation for you guys is you would have this nailed by now. If you show up to a tryout and the coaches see, they're going to be looking for the shooting thing. You're doing this, they're going to say, I can't, this isn't going to be a consistent shooter. So again, you should be catching the ball on this jump here with your shooting hand underneath it, right here. Right there, your guide hand is in a perfect spot, and it should stay right there. But watch what happens. Because you guys, this has become a bad habit over time from all of you guys that we've looked at so far. I haven't seen anyone that isn't doing that, is doing this correctly. Because this has become a bad habit of shooting too far and having to use both hands. And then we work on correcting it in a practice. You have to go home and shoot literally hundreds of shots practice to correct this bad habit. And until you do that, you're going to keep doing this two-handed shooting, and you're going to have inconsistent shooting. That's why when we look at our shots, we are only scoring 50% or 20 to 20% shooting. That's it. And look how close we are. We're shooting in here. We're not shooting that far out. You guys are still struggling to make some of these shots, right? So this is on you guys, right? I can teach you how to do it, but you have to make the decision to want to do it. And here we come back here with Alex. I might be missed some of this. Looks like Alex is getting a little bit tired. Everyone's getting a little tired here. Looks like that. I can't tell. It's hard to tell there, Alex. Let's go to Andres. We know he does this two-hand shooting too. Yeah. There's the hands perfect right there. Your offhand. Good, should just stay right straight up and down. But watch what happens as you bring it up. You caulk that thumb underneath it and two-hand shooting. It's a little less pronounced than Dylan's, but you're still pushing off with that hand. You can see it, the push right there with your left hand. Yeah, that's just not the greatest of shooting form. All right, so we'll work on some of these things on practice today, Thursday. But ultimately, guys, this is on you on your time. We're working on these individual skills here, but we shouldn't have to. These are things when you're shooting, and I know a lot of you play basketball outside of here, you have to make the decision that you're going to fix your shooting. All right?